Night falls across cities where every human body suddenly turns smooth and bare. The quiet loss seems harmless, almost cosmetic. But by morning, the first consequences begin emerging. A cold wind moves through streets and open landscapes. People step outside and feel something unfamiliar. Skin senses the air with raw, exposed sensitivity. Without hair, the smallest breeze feels intrusive. Fine goosebumps no longer rise to trap warmth. Heat escapes faster from every uncovered pore. The human body loses one of its oldest defenses. Millions notice sudden chills even in mild weather. Outdoor workers shiver under sunlight and wind. The change appears subtle but spreads everywhere. Morning news reports strange discomfort worldwide. Dermatologists receive calls from confused patients. Entire populations notice identical symptoms simultaneously. Hair follicles remain, but their protective fibers are gone. Human skin now faces the environment directly. The change begins quietly, but science reacts quickly. Laboratories examine the sudden absence of hair. Researchers compare skin temperature regulation data. Thermal cameras show unusual heat loss patterns. Human bodies radiate warmth more rapidly than before. Hair once trapped thin, insulating air layers. Those invisible barriers are suddenly missing. Cold environments become more dangerous for survival. Mountain communities experience the effects first. Night temperatures now cut through exposed skin. People require thicker clothing even indoors. Arctic researchers report severe discomfort outdoors. Wind chill penetrates deeper into bare skin. Traditional clothing designs begin failing unexpectedly. The strange biological absence spreads its influence further. Under sunlight, skin now absorbs harsher radiation. Body hair once scattered and softened ultraviolet rays. Without it, radiation strikes the skin more directly. Dermatologists notice rising cases of sunburn. Even short exposures become dangerous for some individuals. Human skin struggles to compensate for the sudden vulnerability. Sunscreen demand rises sharply across global markets. Medical journals publish urgent dermatological observations. Hair once served as a subtle shield. It reduced microscopic damage to exposed tissue. Now, skin faces ultraviolet radiation alone. Long-term damage becomes a growing concern. Cancer researchers begin examining future projections. The consequences extend beyond sunlight and temperature. Hair once served another silent biological role. Tiny hairs act as sensitive environmental detectors. When insects land, hair senses the disturbance instantly. Without hair, detection becomes slower. Small parasites reach skin more easily. Mosquitoes approach unnoticed until too late. Biting insects feed with greater success. Epidemiologists notice rising vector transmission risks. Body hair once formed a defensive early warning system. Now that alarm system has vanished completely. Medical communities begin discussing infection vulnerability. Skin contains millions of microscopic openings. Hair follicles once guided oils and sweat. These systems balanced bacterial ecosystems. Without hair shafts, microbial environments shift slightly. Some infections begin spreading more easily. Doctors report mild increases in skin irritation. Hospitals track unusual dermatological cases. The change remains manageable but deeply concerning. Health systems prepare for long-term adaptation. The consequences slowly expand beyond biology. Human culture has always adapted to the body. Now the body itself has changed. Clothing industries experience unexpected pressure. Designers study insulation once provided by hair. Garments must compensate for lost biological protection. Outdoor clothing becomes thicker and more specialized. Thermal fabrics grow in demand worldwide. New textile technologies attempt to mimic hair insulation. Fashion quietly shifts toward practical protection. People seek ways to restore comfort outdoors. Economic systems begin responding to new needs. Manufacturers expand production of protective materials. Healthcare systems also adapt rapidly. Public health campaigns emphasize skin protection. Hospitals increase dermatology training programs. Doctors warn about ultraviolet exposure. Medical guidelines recommend longer protective clothing. Research funding increases for skin defense technologies. Psychological effects begin appearing as well. Body image perceptions shift across societies. Hair once contributed to subtle sensory identity. Now millions feel strangely unfamiliar in their own skin. The absence feels unnatural to many individuals. Cultural beauty standards begin adjusting slowly. Hair removal industries quietly collapse overnight. Yet medical industries expand in response. Human societies adapt, but not without difficulty. In hotter climates, new dangers appear. Without hair, sweat evaporates faster. Cooling efficiency sometimes improves briefly, but sunlight damage increases dramatically. Skin suffers repeated stress under extreme heat. Desert populations experience painful exposure. Protective clothing becomes essential for survival. Cities adjust public health guidance accordingly. Urban life begins adapting to environmental vulnerability. Architecture slowly incorporates shaded infrastructure. Outdoor labor schedules shift toward nighttime work. Agricultural workers require heavier protection. Global economies adjust to subtle biological change. Yet the deeper consequences unfold slowly. Human evolution shaped body hair over millions of years. Early ancestors relied on hair for survival. Hair regulated temperature across diverse environments. It protected skin during migrations and exposure. It served as a barrier against insects. It even contributed to subtle social communication. Now that ancient adaptation has vanished instantly. Future generations must evolve without it. Scientists begin long-term evolutionary projections. Genetic adaptation may favor stronger skin defenses. Melanin production could increase gradually. Human clothing may permanently replace natural insulation. Technology may simulate biological protection. Researchers begin studying artificial skin barriers. Biomimetic fabrics attempt replicating hair insulation. Future clothing may behave like living skin. Smart textiles monitor temperature and radiation. Global industries invest in protective technology. Yet technology cannot fully replicate evolution. Natural systems evolve through countless survival trials. Body hair formed part of a balanced system. Remove one element and balance shifts subtly. The human body begins compensating slowly. Sweat glands adjust to new environmental exposure. Skin thickens slightly under repeated sunlight. Immune responses adapt to microbial changes, but adaptation requires generations to stabilize. Modern humans experience the transition immediately. Healthcare systems observe gradual physiological adjustments. Public health agencies track emerging biological trends. Researchers document shifting patterns in skin disease. Climate exposure studies reveal new survival limits. Cold regions become increasingly difficult for humans. Extreme climates require heavier protective clothing. Human migration patterns may slowly change. Cities in milder climates grow more attractive. Polar research stations face rising operational risks. Desert settlements must redesign outdoor infrastructure. Human civilization reshapes itself around new vulnerabilities. Body hair once required no energy investment. It quietly protected billions of people daily. Now protection requires constant artificial support. Clothing, shelter, and medical care replace natural defenses. Civilization becomes slightly more fragile. Every technological layer replaces lost biology. The change remains survivable but deeply revealing. Humanity once believed body hair insignificant, a minor evolutionary leftover without real purpose. But nature rarely wastes biological design. Even the smallest adaptation carries quiet meaning. Body hair guarded warmth, skin, and sensory awareness. It reduced invisible damage every single day. Now its absence exposes hidden dependencies. The human body continues surviving without it. Yet survival now depends more on civilization. The ancient partnership between biology and environment weakens. Millions of years shaped subtle protective systems. Losing one reveals how fragile balance truly is. Sometimes, the smallest evolutionary features carry the greatest purpose. And sometimes losing something small reveals how carefully nature once protected us.
I'll be back.